Hello, everybody. I hope all is well. Of course, I am Demetra Kaye of the Demetra Kaye Show here on YouTube. Of course, you see me right now on the African Diaspora News Channel, as it is my pleasure to have this conversation with you. Of course, you can find me on my channel from Sunday through Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central Time. And of course, you can find me here right now, Tuesday through Thursday, 11 a.m. Central Time, where we'll have, some great conversations and all of that. Now, of course, I'm going to tell y'all why we're here. And then after that, I'm going to go into the comment section and say hello and answer your questions, comments, and concerns. I see somebody already showed up, with the stuff. That's fine. But nevertheless, we're going to be spending some time talking about Democrats giving illegal immigrants a database to report on ICE misconduct while still neglecting Blacks or Black Americans, right? So I'm going to back all that up in just a second. But while we wait for everybody to show up, please, if you haven't already, download the African Diaspora News Channel app, where we have created that just for you, for us, or from us, by us, for you, and all of that. Of course, you know that it is Christmas time. I don't personally celebrate, but if you do, some people like to spend some money just to say they are part of whatever is going on. I don't spend money with corporate America, but if you're going to do that, that's your business, of course. But please spend some with us, right? We know that we need to start supporting Black-owned businesses, and the app is 100% Black-owned. So again, it's going to show you the things that you will not see on CBS, ABC, Fox News, and all of that. You're going to hear from our perspective about things that pertain to us, like this conversation we're going to have. So again, Christmas time, you got children, parents, grandparents, neighbors, whoever, right? Maybe the coworker, I don't know, it's up to you that maybe don't have a lot of knowledge yourself. You might say, here, I'm going to download that, okay? So, of course, you can do that from your Apple store, your Google store, whatever it is that you buy certain apps from your phone. So, thank you in advance for that. Now, we got a loaded conversation here. Y'all, look, forgive me, I'm already sweating. Wasn't trying to sweat, but just the way it is. So anyway, of course, you guys know that there's a lot going on in regard, and I'm going to get to the comment section in just a few. A lot going on in regards to ICE, right? Immigration Customs Enforcement. They have been running all around the country. Sounds like they're in Louisiana now and all of that. But during the summer, they went to Los Angeles and it got crunk, for a lack of better words. And so Karen Bass, especially there in Los Angeles, California, the mayor, she wasn't having it. She was going back and forth with the ICE agent. She was running through the parks. Leave people alone and things like that. Of course, we know that when Trump got in office, he said that it was his mission this year alone to deport 2 million illegal immigrants. They say that they've done that. They said that they've rounded up 400,000, they being ICE and Border Patrol and all that. And then they said that 1.6 illegal immigrants self-deported. How true it is, I do not know. So I guess they're trying to say, hey, we met our goal and all that other stuff. Well, with that, unfortunately, we've seen, the ICE and Border Patrol and all of that. Some National Guards have been deployed, doing some things that you just wouldn't want to see done. Right now, deportation needs to happen. And I also should say that it's not just the Trump administration that's big on the mass deportation, the Obama administration, most administration, but Obama, they called him the deporter in chief. So I'm saying all that to say that is not something that's new under the Trump administration. But with that, the Democrats have decided, especially in California, they have launched their portal. And I'm going to show you another video that happened about 12 days ago. But in California, they decided that they would launch a new portal. So it's up and running. And I looked into it. You can report misconduct by federal agents. What you need to know, the state announces a new online portal aimed at reporting any misconduct by federal agents. Now, let's focus on the word any for, just keep that in mind, right? Now, briefly, it just says, we're not going to stand by, this is Governor Newsom, we're not going to stand by while anyone, including federal agents, abuse their authority in California. This new portal gives Californians an easy and safe way to speak up, share what they see, and help us hold people accountable. No one is above the law. Then at the bottom there it says Trump administration is engaging in a campaign of terror and fear that has left some California communities, okay? So they said any abuse, but now they're kind of dwindling it down to some California communities scared to go about their daily lives. Now, y'all remember Karen Bass and all them, they in Los Angeles, they said that they're going to give illegal immigrants Angelino cards, right? These Angelino cards, it's money loaded onto the cards to give to the illegal immigrants who are afraid to leave their house to go out and work. So they can't work. So they're giving them money, right? And they're saying that it's coming from donors. That's what they say. Nevertheless, I don't know of any Black Californians that's getting an Angelino card because they're afraid to go out the house, right? So anyway, it also says from unmarked military-style vehicles that detainments that more closely resemble kidnappings, Californians are rightly concerned that federal agents may be crossing the line and abusing their authority. Now, at the bottom there, that's the portal that you can go to. It's a little thing you can click. And so you can report on ICE, Border Patrol, National Guards, or airmen. And you can report on things that are unlawful, and you can upload videos and pictures. So basically, you could just tell on federal agents if you've done something wrong. Now, of course, California saying, well, this is for everybody. But as y'all heard me say, that is it really for everybody? Because that's that this Asian hate crime bill type thing is for everybody. Well, if you read it, you know it's not really for everybody. Okay, so let me go ahead and take this down. Now, they also said that there's no guarantee that, you know, if you upload something that will get to it, just do it, because eventually they want to be able to hold Trump, the Republicans, and ICE and whoever else accountable for this misconduct. Right now, I guess we can all too admit we have seen some misconduct. Again, there are a lot of people here illegally, and they're trying to get them out, and sometimes they kind of go about it in an austere manner. Okay. Now, the video I'm about to show you, I actually talked about this on my channel a couple times. I mentioned it here, but I put together a compilation because the press conference was like 30 minutes long. It's about 2 minutes or so that I put together. I mean, you're going to see some of the Black misleadership speak about a nationwide database that I guess is up and running, and they want to get up and running. They want all the states to use it, but they kicked it off in Los Angeles, California. And you're going to hear them say some things that's just kind of like, okay. So here we go.
To do real oversight of the Trump administration. Right now, Donald Trump, Kristi Noem, Stephen Miller, Tom Homan are causing terror, not just in Los Angeles and LA County, but across the country. We know that over 170 U.S. citizens have been detained without any due process throughout this entire action that is being laid out by this administration. We know that there are hundreds of other migrants, undocumented workers, people that are residents that have temporary permits to be here have also been detained without any due process. We also know that our Constitution provides due process for all persons, citizens and non-citizens alike. We're here because we want to do oversight and collect the stories from the public here in Los Angeles, and we'll be doing hearings on a variety of topics, of course, across the country.
Say that as the ranking member gave his opening remarks, all I could think about is that he is the American dream. Right now, we are living an American nightmare. I don't know how many other Robert Garcias right now, unfortunately, are having their parents stripped away from them. How many other Robert Garcias, unfortunately, are being nabbed themselves? How many other Robert Garcias' dreams are dying when they came to the land of the free and the land of opportunity? Let me tell you something.
Hi, Latifah Simon from California's 12th Congressional District up in the Bay Area. I think it should be noted that Los Angeles County has one of the nation's most cohesive ecosystem of immigrant justice organizations, from the ACLU to Churla to organizations that you'll find in this room who have been ready and willing to provide legal opportunities and services to folks on the ground. They are working with members of Congress and, of course, the Board of Supervisors and the City Council here. This is a roadmap.
Okay. Let me just be clear as it relates to trans folk. First of all, we can't trust this administration to do right by any reporting. If they don't want to report accurate job numbers, honey, I don't expect to get accurate information about trans folk. I just want to be clear clear about that. In addition to that, we have seen that this administration has been very clear about taking away the personhood of trans folk specifically, not just when it comes to ICE, but we know that we just got them talking about how someone will be classified as it relates to their passport in and of itself. So this is why this dashboard matters. This is why the leadership of the Oversight Committee matters, because we can't tell these stories. We won't know these stories, but I can tell you trans people are loved too. So they've got loved ones, and those loved ones need to make sure that they understand that we stand for everybody in this country. We understand that they really should be respected in a way that this administration never will. So I want you all to know that you have a safe space with us.
What we're all doing, resisting this low-down, dirty, no-good, filthy president of the United States of America. Let me just say this. They are targeting our leadership, both in the Latino community and in the Black community. And while they're targeting them and following them, I'm on the street and I'm following ICE and I'm targeting ICE. And I went to the deportation center. If David Werta is here, I came to see about you, David. I came to see about you. I came to see about you because we've got to let them know that they're not going to get away with this. We are documenting everything. We are resisting. And I want to tell you, you are seeing the biggest coming together of the Black and brown community that we've seen in this city ever. We are organized. We are coalescing with each other, and we're going to fight together. And
right. So, so of course, that was a compilation of that meeting. Again, it was about 30 minutes long, and they did that about almost 2 weeks ago at this point. So this was this hearing, right? This oversight committee to launch this database. So y'all heard it all, but basically, you heard from Robert Garcia, and he basically, was talking about the immigrant situation. So again, thinking about California, how they're saying it's for everybody. I didn't hear nobody talk about Black other than Maxine Waters. And when y'all heard Maxine Waters talk about Black, she talked about Black and what? She said Black and brown. Again, the only time they ever talk about Black and brown is when they talk about the Black helping the brown, never the brown helping the Black, right? So she says this is the biggest, I guess, coalition of Black and brown working together. It's like, who are you speaking for us? Who you speaking for, Auntie Maxine, right? And again, y'all heard her. Y'all thought I was lying when I talked about it. I know you did, until I showed it to you. She's following ICE. She's in the back alleys. Doing what? What are you doing in the back alleys? You in your 80s, Maxine. I should say, Miss Maxine, you in your 80s, and you're in the back alleys. You're chasing ICE. Like, what are we doing, right? But again, that's the only time I heard anybody say anything about Black. Now, of course, you heard Jasmine Crockett. She was talking to Robert Garcia about Robert Garcia. Oh, how many Robert Garcias were snatched up? Because I guess she's kind of saying that Robert Garcia, he's like the promise of the country. And she basically said, illegal or immigrants, rather, make America great and all this other stuff. And they might have been taking some Robert Garcias and his parents and all this other nonsense. And then Latifah Simon from the Bay Area, she talked about all the organizations, did she not? She talked about Charla, the ACLU, the Board of Supervisors, the City Council. All these people are helping and they're working and they're just that, the other. And I'm like, well, then why they need another database? They got all these people working together to make sure that they have legal representation and all this other things. Why do y'all need to create another database? Right? Where's the database for us? I'll get to that in just a second. Now, of course, we're going to go back to Jasmine Crockett, who has now put her hat in the ring to run for the Senate of Texas, right? There's all this brouhaha about it, but they had a question about the trans community that some, I guess, illegal immigrants or whatever have been snatched up and they are trans and all that other stuff. So y'all saw they were fighting to talk about it. Now, I sped it up a little bit, but they were kind of fighting to talk about it, which, no, I got it. So finally, Jasmine Crockett, she won. And she basically says, yes, we know that Trump don't, basically care about the other communities, and he sure doesn't care about the trans. Now, the longer version of that, she's like, yes, and I know, some of them, they are without their medicine because they're in the, I guess, transitioning, and I guess they need the medicine to do that. And I'm like, So, and no shade to no trans people, none at all, sure, very lovely people, but Jasmine Crockett, you up there talking about medicine for illegal immigrants that's to transition in, and you ain't said nothing specifically about no Black Americans nowhere, Black Californians. I mean, while y'all was there, did y'all think to talk about the reparations that was denied Black Californians? But I'll get into that, I'm sure, while we're here. And then we go to Maxine Waters again, the Black and brown thing. So we're talking about we coming together. So all of that They are there to get this database so that illegal immigrants and, you know, anybody else, I guess, so they say, could tell on ICE. Essentially, that's what it is. Because again, we know that ICE converged on Los Angeles with a vengeance, and they've done it everywhere else. But Los Angeles seemed like it kind of got a lot of attention because, especially in the Latino community, they were fighting back. I mean, you just saw a lot. It was on the news, and I happened to be down there. Y'all know I'm from California, so I happened to be there when it was going on. So I went to one of the protests to get some footage and things. And yeah, I really didn't see that many of us out there. Maybe like, I don't know, I probably saw 4 of us. Some of them had cameras, or like I did or whatever, but it wasn't a lot. But there was a lot of Hispanics and, you know, some whites, but mostly Hispanics protesting ICE, of course, because they went to a Home Depot and kicked it off and snatched up a bunch of people and things like that. But as I think about this portal and this database, right, of course, they're saying it's for us. We know that it's not, because you didn't hear them really say anything other than Maxine Waters about Black. But when I think about the portal, what about Black Americans? What about our George Floyd Justice and Policing Act that they said that they were going to get us? Of course, y'all know what happened with George Floyd in 2020 May, where Derek Chauvin, who is now trying to get out, actively trying to get out. I guess his lawyers are trying to say, hey, we need a new trial. It was unfair because, of course, you know, them folks do not want Derek Chauvin to pay for what he did. He was charged federally and on a state level, but the state of Minnesota was like, well, even if Trump and them decide to pardon him, he ain't getting out here, right? So he's trying to get out. But of course, y'all know what happened with that. Derek Chauvin put his knee on George Floyd's neck for nearly 10 minutes, taking his very life in front of people on live and in living color, cameras and everything. Of course, I watched the whole thing. It was horrible. The trial, just horrible. But there was supposed to be a George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. That's, you know, going to do something with police reform and qualified immunity and all this other stuff. Never happened. I think it's stalled at the House or something like that, but it never happened. Of course, we know that Kamala Harris, when she was vice president rather, she went to Tennessee, Tyree Nichols' funeral, and said, I'm going to go back to Washington. I'm going to tell Joe Biden to sign the justice, you know, George Floyd. And that never happened. I don't even think she ever talked about it again. You know, did y'all hear her talk about it on the campaign trail when she was campaigning to be the president of the United States? I didn't hear her talk about it. But, you know, we also know that Obama, he gave police officers when, he was president, the blue alert. That basically let them know that, hey, you're in danger, because a while back, y'all heard, you know, especially in California, and his name escapes my mind, but y'all, somebody put it in the comments, where there was an ex-police officer looking for police officers, right? And as a matter of fact, it wasn't too far from my mother's house. I wasn't living in the state at the time, but I called my mom because I knew my mama, right? She was kind of nosy. I'm like, hey, don't go outside, right? Stay in the house. So with that, Obama decided, let's go ahead and do a blue alert to let police officers know when they're in danger. But Black Americans, the most endangered people in the United States of America per FBI statistics. So it's not something I'm saying, but we didn't get a Black alert. We didn't get nothing to say, hey, you in danger. Nothing at all. You know, we always hear this police reform, this, that, but never nothing at all. And that's not going to be specifically for us anyway. Okay. Now, we did not get a hate crime bill, but we know that when Biden and Kamala were in office, the Asian community got a hate crime bill, even though they said, no, it's for everybody. But see, they know you won't read it. They know you ain't going to read it. So they know most of y'all going to say, well, that's for everybody, because so-and-so over here, who like a lot of grandma cookies, said, oh, it's for everybody. Matter of fact, he cussed me out on Twitter and all that other stuff. But it's not for everybody. It's for the Asian community. And 6 paragraphs in, it doesn't talk about everybody else or Black people or anything like that. So where is our hate crime bill? Okay, that's what I want to know. Now, my dad is a California born, Los Angeles is still there. He's in his upper 80s, and up until maybe about a year or so ago, my dad would get pulled over by the sheriff department, whatever, harassed, lied on. You know, the last time he was pulled over, they said, oh, you got a warrant in San Bernardino County. And my dad was like, I ain't been to San Bernardino County. And they have held him up for probably 45 minutes or so, having him, basically trying to explain and you know who they were. They weren't the white police officers. They were the Latino police officers that was doing that to my nearly 80-year-old daddy at the time, right? So finally they let him go. But I bring that up is because where does he get the report misconduct? Where's your Karen Basses and your Jasmine Crockett's and all them to say, hey, dear sir, here's where you go to www.tellona.com for what they did to you, right? So he doesn't get that. So I'm saying all that to say we are watching these people who call themselves our leaders crash out for people who should not be here because they're here illegally. I'm not talking about the immigrants that are here legally. I'm talking about the ones that are here illegally. They're crashing out. Again, you heard Latifah Simmons from the Bay Area. Oh, they got this, that. She had to count on her toes how many organizations was helping them, but yet they needed another one. But then when it's time to show up to vote, then they're going to say something to Black Americans. Hey, how y'all doing? You like fish fries? You like twerking to the polls? The little stuff. Hey, we got a sticker. You can put it on. You can say, I voted today. You can go tell all your friends. They're going to send buses to the church. And we're going to talk about the church tomorrow. But they're going to send buses to the church. They're going to send, just to pick everybody up. And then when you're going to vote, they're going to drop you off and kick you out the car and never speak to you again until it's time to vote. Now, I don't want to leave and go into the comment section without talking about a solution because I'm trying to, really be solution oriented just a little bit more. So what we can do to guarantee that, in a sense, okay, we are picking the right candidates for us, right? For us as Black Americans. And this is just something simple. It's nothing major right now because sometimes we got to start slow and low and easy. I hope that sounded right for what I'm about to say. Anyway, we should conduct research. Okay, somebody says, hey, I want to be your mayor, city council, your senator, your representative in the House, or the DA, or the sheriff, or the judge, or whatever. Okay, cool. I want to find out more about this person. Is there a pamphlet? Is there a website or something you have that could tell me about yourself? Okay, great. You go there. Then, of course, on their campaign website, they ain't going to tell you all the nonsense, foolishness, and chicanery that they might have been up to, right? Or the benign neglect of the Black community. So you have to do your due diligence and go dig a little bit deeper and see what you can find. As I say, Google is free. We should not be this ignorant. Now, I know that there's some things on Google that's not correct, but you know what I'm getting at. Like, do your part. Don't just listen to people your favorite Democrat shield or your favorite pastor or your favorite whoever it is. You got to go vote for them because they reclaiming their time, or they ain't gonna play with Trump, or they, got some good seasoning on the fish this year, or whatever it is, right? But like, okay, all that, yeah, reclaiming your time, all that, whatever. But what is that? How's that gonna benefit me? See, I need to know about the DA. What is their track record on convicting Black Americans? What's their track record on, these plea deals instead of really wanting to see the case through? I told y'all last week about a nephew that had a very, I can't even describe this DA. She was a white woman, blonde hair, and what she kept saying to my nephew and his friends that they were trying to send up the river because a white man lied on them. She kept saying, well, when I was, because they were hanging out, nothing major. They weren't doing anything mischievous, but she kept saying, well, when I was 20, in my 20s, I never did anything like that. And I'm like, you a white woman. You was a white woman in your 20s. These is Black boys and, Hispanic. You not, how you comparing yourself as a white woman to them, So that I know she was on some foolishness. She didn't win, nevertheless, right? They got found not guilty. I told y'all that. But, when somebody says, well, I want to be your House of Representatives. Okay. Why should I vote for you? Like, give me the tea. Don't give me the fluff, right? Give me what I can really go in there and say, I feel good. I feel good about going there casting a vote for this particular politician, right? So do your research. And then, of course, show up to these rallies and events. And then once they get in, right, show up to the city hall, the city council meetings and the city planning meetings and all of these things that you can show up to, especially if it's dealing with things in your neighborhood. Because I know we talk about voting, not to vote, sit on the couch or whatever it is, but we also are very vocal about voting on your state and local levels, because that is what affects us most as citizens. Presidential, yeah, okay, cool. But now you see what's going on in Washington with Trump. Trump has a free pass to do whatever he wants. Why? Y'all know why. It's because the Republicans are in control of the House, the Senate, and the executive branch, and hell, the judicial branch, the Supreme Court. They say, well, so Trump, you don't like that? Okay, well, we don't like it either because they have a majority, right? 6-3. So that's where it matters. When you show up to these state and local levels, you can say, okay, I need to send a House of Representatives or a senator that's going to hold the president, regardless of who it is, accountable. That's not going to give him or her one day, right? Maybe a free check and to do whatever they want. We're going to say, nah, because I got to answer to my district. I got to answer to my constituents if healthcare does this or the food stamps or this or the that or the education. I got to answer to them, right? Because I want to stay working here. The president, they got 2 terms. Right now, Trump is at his last term. So in a sense, he's kind of lame duck, but he's not, because he's doing a whole lot of stuff that may or may not benefit the American people. I'll let we'll have that conversation another day. But what I'm saying is, when you show up, you can make sure that your whoever it is, elected officials, being held accountable, and you let them know. That's what I say about them folks. When they get people in office and that person is not doing the job, they like, you out of here, buddy. You ain't gonna have a second chance to do this to us again, right? They get them out of there. But us, nah, what do? Well, Maxine has been in there since 1990, and she's gonna keep reclaiming her time. And we allow them to take dirt naps on the seat and all that kind of stuff. And they leave out of here not answering anything specifically for the Black American community. Then again, make informed decisions. Again, not because your mama, your daddy, well, maybe your granny got hair. I was going to say bald head granny, or anybody, you told you, oh, well, just go do it. Go vote blue no matter who, or go vote red no matter who, whatever it is, right? You're like, why am I going to vote blue no matter who? That don't make any sense. As I always say, a Smurf is blue. The Blue Man Group in Vegas is blue. A crayon is blue. There's a lot of things that are blue that I can vote for. But so I do that because it's blue? Well, of course, nah, you don't just vote for. Then do you hear what you're saying to me? You're saying vote blue no matter who. But I should be saying, why is that blue gonna do for me? Something specifically for my community. If the answer is no, then I might want to go look somewhere else. And as I tell y'all know I'm nonpartisan, so I could go both ways. Again, not in that way, but I can go either way. If you talking some good stuff on either side, okay, bet I'm with it. But if you're not, then I just try to do the best that I can. But do your research, show up, make an informed decision always. So I'm going to take this down, and I'm going to get into the comment section. So again, where's our portal? Are y'all, when I say y'all, I can't vote for Jasmine. She's not in my district, or any of them. Y'all, are we going to continue to vote these people in office when they play in our Black faces? When they, ride out for people who shouldn't be here because they're here illegally? Are we going to keep voting for those people? Or are we going to keep sitting on the couch during the state and local elections and say, I don't know. Now I don't even know who running, because that's a thing. we got a lot of apathy, especially in our community. We don't know, we don't care. And then the minute you run over a pothole in your brand new car or your shiny tires hit a pothole, God, because I know I've said it, right? But then you think, or do you think rather, oh, that's a city council thing, city council, city planning thing. I should probably show up and say, God dang it, I almost tore my whole front end off as these potholes is in my neighborhood. Y'all gonna do something about that, right? So, yeah, you got to ask questions. Am I gonna keep on voting for people who don't care for me, who are gonna care for everybody else but me? And I say this, and we've seen it in different polls. We see that Black Americans, again, this is, because we vote for the Democrats more than anybody, we're showing up more than anybody, even still in California, after Gavin Newsom and the California Legislative Black Caucus played in our faces with that reparations stuff. They had that study for doggone 4 years. And then when it came down to, to do something, had their arms crossed and making fun of people. Will they get back in office? Probably. They probably will. And then they'll have another 2 years to play in Black Americans' faces while they go and secure everything for everybody else. And we'll help them do that. So it's up to us really at this point. What kind of people do we want to lead us? Right? What kind of people do we want to lead us? See, because the people that we send to Washington should be very careful and afraid to not do anything for us. They're not, because they got our number. You don't have to do nothing for them. They ain't gonna do nothing. We'll win by default. Or, them other people that we're trying to get in here, maybe some of they folks will vote for us, but we ain't worried about Black Americans no more. They too busy worried about all kind of stuff that's outside of their own community to even know what we doing. So anyway, let me see what y'all got to say. And thank you for bearing with me. Hopefully I've given you all the information there is to give with that. I know I didn't, but it's close enough as possible. Going all the way up to the top. Now my goal is to see if I can beat the comment section before I get out of here. 207, how you doing? I saw your questions and stuff about Trump and the Republicans, and I know all that. Okay, I'm not here to plead the case for Trump. I'm talking about the Democrats because that's who we vote for more than any other political parties, the Democrats. So I see you though. Yeah, Ice Barbie, Christy, all of them. Yeah. Troy, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Ronnie, you said Atlanta in the house. What's going on? Mike, nice. How are you? Anthony, what's going on? It says Black politicians tend to neglect their own group. We allow them to do it. Like at some point in time, we gotta stop doing that. We allow them to do, we know, like we are in the know. We are in the age of knowing now, right? We know it's not a secret. They're not sweeping it under a rock or under the rug. We know they do that, and we show up. Show up. So, yeah. Sister Shirley, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Ronnie, I appreciate you as well. Simply Shonda, what's going on with you? Black First, how you doing? Says, I feel so sorry for those people's children. After so much back and forth, they pay too. It says, and will pay for their ancestors' dumbness. Not their fault, but have been paying. And I'm not sure who you're talking about, so forgive me. DPP, how you doing? Says, I don't care nothing about ICE. Okay, Christopher, how you doing? Says, keep doing absolutely real Black American media news work. Daily African Diaspora News Channel. We trying, and get the app so you can see it whenever you want. Pop, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Let's see. Protected Divinely. How you doing? Says Angelino Cards. Yeah, look it up. They were using them for, I think, the pandemic originally or something like that. But then it was like, okay, let's dust them off and give it to the illegal immigrants who are afraid to come outside because, they can't work. So if they can't work, they can't pay for stuff like food or whatever. So just give them some money. And I saw that California is now leading in the most homeless population and unemployment rate. I have to do a little bit more research. I just saw that being the case. And we know that Black Americans are the most homeless population in America, especially in California. Anybody getting an Angelino card out there? Probably not. 23 Archer, how you doing? Says others need to contact the Democrats for a database to report those misconducts that affect them. Yeah, you know, they're not gonna listen to none of that right now. Their mission is to and it was crazy is I saw a report. I haven't really gotten into that because I just kind of collect stories and I have to get into them later, that the Latino community feels like the Democrats are neglecting them. They're not speaking out enough. They're not doing enough. Like, where y'all been? What you mean? That's crazy. Renaya, how you doing? Says they sure do go hard for immigrants. Yep. Switching lanes. What's going on? She says evil people support evil people. Okay. S Bus BB, how you doing? It says if the world governments can come together to talk about the ending of the wars and displacement, helping each other and working together and end the greed of taking from others. Okay. Eric, how you doing? It says not the Black community. Leave us alone. We good. So you talking about Maxine Waters. Liberty, how you doing? Says utterly delulu, which is delusional, right? My bad, how you doing? Says hearing Maxine Waters talk lowers my IQ. It gives me don't claim that on yourself. Say give you cancer. No, don't claim it. Don't speak like that out. You know, speak like things like that out in the universe. At this point, I just, you know, I don't want to deduce her down, but she's just like this cute old lady at this point. You know, I'm following ICE. I mean, I could just envision it in a way. Tanya, how you doing? April, what's going on? She says, I'm really beginning to hate Democrat Party. Well, you know, we just need to, in a sense, I think, hold them accountable and say you're not going to get our vote until you start talking some good stuff and walking some good stuff, because you can talk, but you need to walk, which means that you're actually doing the things that you say, right? So we just need to say, you want us to show up? You need to show up for us. You know, we need some little press conferences about databases for us and all this other stuff, right? Now someone say, oh, that's for everybody. Well, why y'all wasn't talking like that before this illegal immigrant mass deportation effort went started? If it's for everybody. Mike says, take that ish elsewhere Tuesday. Tanya was going on, says, I need housing, not to pay a mortgage since you've been giving immigrants everything. Yeah, see, that's the kind of stuff we need to say. Hey, you running for office? Great. How do you feel about illegal immigration? And how do you feel about me as a Black American? And don't say nothing, because my mama used to always say, especially in sales, the first one who speaks loses. Ask your question and be quiet and wait and see what they're going to say. You know what, Pop? Goddess, how you doing? Says, how about them create a bureau for Black and brown citizens being harassed and arrested by ICE? Well, you know, they say that is portal is for everybody, but it's not really. As I said, as Black Americans, we report stuff all the time, and it, you know, falls on deaf ears unless it's like a George Floyd or something like that that's caught on camera. But I would be happy with a bureau for just Black Americans, which we had one and you don't have one now, and we need one because we need our money, you know, reparations. Gaga, how you doing? Says Maxine Waters, you were there when reparations were denied for foundational Black Americans. That means you ain't got nothing to say. Well, when she first started, she was talking about reparations and things like that, but I don't hear her talking about it as much anymore. Yeah, some of these comments I'm just going to read over because you do not deserve my attention. Oneida, how you doing? Says, shalom, all of them are our enemies and will never help Black folks. It seems to be that way, right? No, not today, Pop. H, how you doing? Says, Crockett fights like hell for immigrants. Yep. And she's going to do it if she's in the Senate. You know, she's the one that actually passes the laws. If she gets becomes a senator, has to go through the House first and then through the Senate and then, you know, to the president. Modest Mouse, how you doing? Says Obama only helped hit. We're gonna say the gay community, not us, because I don't know how homosexual he is. Retired, how you doing? Says Pootie Tang hates blue states. Leon, how you doing? Says stop chasing these illegal immigrants in the streets and go after the organizations, employers, programs that are harboring and protecting and facilitating their refusal to follow the law. Yes. More. I know I said that wrong, but how you doing? He says Black people have been detained by ICE as well. A Black vet is in prison. Once February 3rd, they'll probably come after Haitians. I haven't heard of any Black Americans that are detained. I think I know who you're talking about. That particular gentleman And he went to Morehouse. Is that the one you're talking about? He's not Black American. I'm not sure if he's from Mexico or the motherland, somewhere like that, but he's or the DR, but he's not Black American, if that's who you're speaking of. And he's been over here with no papers for some years. So, like, you got to put all of that in. They not just for what I mean, they probably are. I don't want to say they're not, but the cases that you're talking about, yeah, that particular dude, he was riding dirty over here without his papers for a strong minute. So, yeah. Barbara, how you doing? Says this is Black America's home. Their ancestors have been here since the Pilgrims. So no, the Black Americans don't need to leave their home. I can dig it. Jay McClinton, how you doing? Says Trump will find another group to ridicule to distract the public. Haitians could be next. Not surprised. Well, Haitians was already next under the Biden administration. Where was y'all at? I reported on the story where they crossed over the southern border into Texas, and those border patrol, whatever, on those horses, you know, with their little lassos and stuff, was lassoing up the Haitians. Where y'all been? They got them clean up out of here quick. And that was the Biden administration. While they were saying, come over, they had an app and everything for immigrants, illegal immigrants to seek an asylum to come and figure out where to go, what to get, who to, all that other stuff, right? So yeah, the Haitians ain't next. They already been. So under both administrations. Sister Sunlight, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Today, you says you got, I have great news about the Yucca app. You hit me too. So you found out some stuff, right? I love that app. Crew Royalty, how you doing? Christopher Darner, yes. That's the name. Thank you. Oh, God, I'm not behind, huh? Cool Breeze, how you doing? Says, I'll say, forget the Democrats. Anyone Black voting for Democrats, you are a damn fool. Ray Koo, how you doing? Says, we Black folks always in danger, so we don't need an alert. I mean, I'm just saying, why you busy? Why you making alerts? How about one for us? Free speech, how you doing? Says, step aside, Santa Claus, ICE is coming to town. Merry Christmas, America. You better stop. Albie Chill, how you doing? Hope you're doing well today. This is a D something, brother. How you doing? Says, thank you, Demetra, our sister who speaks truth to our faults. You call us out as well as our enemies, even if it stings me. Thank you. Well, you know, and when I say you, I mean me too, right? None of us are above it all because we are responsible for our community regardless, right? It's not an individual effort. It's all of us effort. So yeah, we should, I like I said, I just want to spend my time really talking more about us. I get it. There's a lot of things. The sunlight is going to come in a minute. There's a lot of things that we could be focused on or we talk about. It's just not me. I'd rather talk about us and how we can get to the next level. Let's see. Walk with me. NYC, how you doing? Says, I still want to try the Clybourne fish fry just to see how it tastes. Let us know. Daryl, how you doing? Says illegal is still illegal. Yep. Five Rings, how you doing? Says when the Democrats are in office, the FBA community suffers. When the Republicans are in office, everybody gets to smoke. That part. Yes, indeed. Okay. All those, how you doing? Says stop crying. P. Russell, how you doing? Says the problem is we have not delineated. We need to delineate and stand up for our own issues. We need to support those who support us. Yeah. Hey, Buck Horse, how are you doing today in DC? You holding it down? What's really good? Dwayne, how you doing? He says, and I aim to keep Republicans in control of Washington, DC. Call the Democrats I think it because the Democrats are cancer to all of America, especially us FBAs. They all are. Republicans, Democrats, they all are. But again, we give most of our votes to the Democrat Party. So that's who we kind of holding their feet to the fire. Lee, how you doing? Says, I'd rather not have to compete with illegal aliens in this economy. We shouldn't have to. You're 100% right. It shouldn't even be a conversation, but here it is. But again, we got to, you know, because we helped them get there. We helped with that. So we know now. There's no more excuses to say, ooh, I didn't know. You know, that politician was doing it like that. There's no excuse, right? Low, the Don, how you doing? Says voting on local level, city, state elections, and attending city council is best and most effective for us. Yep. Pat, how you doing? Says they coming over here taking our benefits. What the hell? Yeah. Well, we helping them get it. Sherry, how you doing? Says I'm from Indianapolis and my cousin is Andre Carson. He's a congressman for our state, Democrat, and I have not voted for him in years. All he's worried about is the illegals and his family. And I comment cut off. That's crazy. Your own cousin doing that? Wow, I know y'all conversations at Thanksgiving is pretty interesting. Fed up sister, how you doing? Says get involved, get into it. James Brown, yes indeed. Daryl, how you doing? Says they want us to replace us. You've been knowing this since 1986. So yeah, what's really our excuse at this point? So all right, let me skip down because I see my time is running out. Southern Lady Brown, how you doing? Says reparations and hate crime bill now. Yeah, we'll get reparations when we get all this stuff here. Start talking about us more and say, hey, we need to do this, that, the other, this, that, the other. You know, then we'll get it a lot faster. Right now, they know that the Black American community is disjointed. It just is. And so they're like, yeah, they may never unify. We will, but, you know, we just need to keep having those conversations. My aunt, how you doing? He says, Demetra, people waking up. Yes. And we got to keep waking them up. Yep. Brian, how you doing? He says a good video. Oh, thank you. Yoshi, how you doing? Says you got to stop associating FBAs with Democrats. This party has gone rogue and they advocate specifically for immigrants. Well, what have FBA been voting for? FBAs don't vote for Democrats? Is it a more FBA than any other, you know, black that's over here, black immigrants or whatever? So who FBA been voting for? I don't know everything. In fact, I know very little. Please enlighten me. William, how you doing? He says, why passport and judge in court? I'm not quite sure what that means. Maybe you can enlighten me. Roz, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Albert Chill says, definitely tired of the Democrats. We already know what to expect from the Republicans, but they wicked. Demo Fox. How many names you got? Got our people the chokehold at the moment. Yeah, we got to work against that, though. That's our job to do that. Okay, so far I've seen everybody. I think I might get everybody. Keith, how you doing? Says, good morning to everyone. Miss Demetra looks like my favorite auntie. Oh, thank you. Your favorite auntie must be a dope and dynamic woman, huh? I'm just playing, but she probably is. Buckhorse says, I just want to know who they are. Who are they fighting for? We are the world. You know who they fighting for. Mid Breezy, how you doing? Says, folks are so hateful. Yeah. I always tell my daughter that there's a lot of pink slime in the world. If you've watched Ghostbusters, you know what that means, right? The pink slime was activated by hate. The more hateful New York City got, the more pink slime, you know, bubbled over and it took over the world. So we got a lot of pink slime going on. Very hateful. I agree with you. Daryl, how you doing? Says, gotta let it fall. Nandy, what's going on? What's going on? Says, good afternoon. Yep, it is the afternoon. Maisha, how you doing? Says, where's the hate crime bill? F, how you doing? Says, good morning from Florida. Because I didn't know what your name said. I didn't want to say something and get in trouble, but how you doing? Three Skills, how you doing? Says, I'm calling ICE and the police on them. Okay. Well, let us know how that works out. Edward, how you doing? Hope that you are well today. And again, I'll be on my channel 5 p.m. Central Time. African Native in the building. How you doing, Scoop? How you doing? Says, we should never cape for any other community. No one has ever caped for us. It's us and us only. Everyone has shown us that. About time, right? It's about time somebody said it. Now, I know that's been said before, but man, you know, like eventually maybe we can help other people, but we've helped everybody else and not helped ourselves. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to help yourself first. The airplane analogy is the perfect one. If the plane is and the mask drop down, they say, do what? Do they say, go to every aisle and put everybody else's mask on first, knock on the cockpit and say, hey, y'all good in there? Because I'm the mask committee, and go to the back of the plane. Y'all good? And then put your mask on. It don't say do that. It says put your mask on first, then your child, and then you want to run around the thing if you can, right? If it doesn't detach, then you can help everybody else. But right now, we as Black Americans, we go put everybody else's mask on. And then by the time we get back to our seat, because that's what we're doing now. That's literally what Black America, the state of Black America is now. We're needing some, 1, 2, 3, breathe. 1, 2. We're needing some resuscitation, some CPR. So we got to stop. In the words of Eric Mays, you got to stop doing that. So yeah, Callie, how you doing? Says I voted Trump to get. He voted for Trump rather to get illegals out and men out of women's spaces. Y'all crazy for voting for Kamala 10 walls. They love open borders, to say the least, right? So anyway, listen, I gotta go. That's my time. Please stay tuned for all the other contributors. They work so hard on their content. They want you to see it. I know y'all don't always get notifications, and that kind of sucks. But the good news is, if you get the app, you don't have to worry about notifications. You can say, now I know they put some on there today that I probably didn't see on the channel. So let me go over there to the app, right, that I've downloaded from a Play Store. And let me go look at all the great content, just that, the other. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed. So I'll be back here tomorrow, 11 a.m. We're going to talk about the church. Yes, we are. But, it's going to be a good conversation. In the meantime, y'all have a great rest of your day. Well, thank you, Fire Rings. I appreciate that. And I will see y'all later. And Widget says, damn the illegal immigrants and damn the Democrats too. Period. Peace.